next thing is we have learned CSS, you know, to a better extent. I wouldn't say very well. Yeah. So I've covered most of the major topics that actually one needs to cover. Some of the things I've covered advanced. Some of the things I might have missed here and there. Yeah. Uh, Again, so nobody will be able to cover even any of the course you take, majority of them. So if at all there are some topics we feel like okay needs to be covered, we will discuss it. So we don't have any restriction that okay we cannot go back to CSS. I'm done with CSS. No. Yeah. So learning is never ending. Fine. We will continue to work on CSS. I told you in the last yesterday. I think the plan was we will now do maybe one day. I'll plan for CSS complete revision. Maybe one day in the sense like maybe one set of class. We can okay, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour lengthy class where we revise most of the CSS things. Yeah, because I've told almost like a month. Yeah, with a lot of concepts that it is difficult. You might have forgotten. Now, same way we will have a JS revision now. So this I'll extend a bit. I'll not revision. I think maybe I am going to talk a bit more. Yeah. So JS because this is a foundation for next level learning what we have. Yes, of course, yes, CSS and HTML, JavaScript, all three are foundation for web development, specifically front-end development. So we need to know JS. Again, JS is also there are a lot of things actually. Yeah, lot of concepts, lot many things to learn. Again, here also, see, you will have to follow along with me. You will have to spend time and cover whatever examples I am giving, whatever concepts I am giving that day or that day evening. You try to cover, you read once, practice, and come back. You should come back to an extent of questions. I'm sure nobody is here learning for exams. You're all learning for job, not for interview also.
Yes, sir.
So, which means you should be knowing to a very good extent actually. So, and you will never. So, if you think you will push it for tomorrow or some other time, you will tend to forget. Next time, if you have to put the effort, you will take double the effort. If you follow along with me, if you study along with along this class, then you will feel later also comfortable because you would have learned all these things. Now, all I'm saying is, if you attend 1 hour everyday class, okay, spend at least minimum 1 hour, yeah, minimum 1 hour to understand, read yourself, practice whatever I've told, read the same resources, read, go through the documentation, and try to implement something for that concept what you have learned. So 1 hour plus 1 hour minimum effort is required. Don't tell me I went to office, I that festival, this festival, gone to college. No, these are all excuses. These are called excuses. And you are not in a stage where you can give excuse. If you give yourself excuses, so you are the one who are going to suffer. So fine, yeah. So I'm saying, don't make a mistake. I know many of you didn't follow CSS along with me. Later you struggled when I give you some assignments. You will not be able to complete it. And you see our stack is very big. We have to learn so many things. And one other thing, some of you might have found the CSS is bit tough or bit different. You might have missed many concepts also. The reason CSS is bit different and you might have found like bit challenging at times is it is totally a different language. It is not like your JavaScript. JavaScript you will find a lot of similarities. I'm sure all of you have done some programming. There is nobody here who has not even written any program. You all have done the program. Either of the either like C, Java, yeah, maybe JavaScript also some of you. With that you will have similarities. Okay, JS syntax, programming, functions, variables and all this. But CSS was not like that. It was like mostly completely new, and you will not learn any language like CSS. Yeah, you don't get to learn anything which is like CSS. It's totally unique, and that is also one of the reason why many people are not able to ease, you know, kind of stick to UI or the front end development. They will learn JS. You as a Java programmer, you ask him to do JS. Yes, to an extent, yes, he can write JavaScript code with Copilot and Chat GPT available. I think nobody will have a challenge in writing any other code. You ask me C sharp code, you ask me Python code, I will give you. So you give me a few more minutes, I will be able to implement and give it to you because I would have already coded good enough in one programming language. See, today's world, yeah, in today's time, what I am seeing is it doesn't matter which programming language you are learning. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, and again, it all depends on whichever project you are actually onboarding. But be open to write programs. If you learn, if you just become master in one, or if you implement most of the things in one, okay, so you have a lot of options. For sure, then based on my need, you will be able to switch to any of this, or you will be able to work on multiple of this also. And in software field, nobody will stick to one actually. It's a ever what to say active field. You will have a lot of things to learn, and you are not bound by one language, one framework. If I have to tell you, like I have gone through many languages. Yeah, I've gone through many languages. Just to name some of them, uh, before PHP, I was doing some COBOL and mainframe, which is a very old technology. Today's world, still they are using it. Don't think COBOL is, you know, not used. No, still it is very demanding, and maybe they are getting very less people. But then, yeah, PHP. What else? I was doing something like in Adobe, there was a framework called Cold Fusion. Then I moved on to what is called as VB.NET. Okay, I have done something on VB.NET. During my college, that time I was there, I have learned C sharp syntax also. I have learned Java also. I can write program in Java, basic core Java and all that I know. Maybe few months back, I was actually sitting and learning Java programs daily. I was trying to practice syntax, the core Java syntax. I'm saying 6 months, maybe 1 year back. Python I have not done. JavaScript, then I've learned JavaScript, and then I've also learned a lot of frameworks like Angular. I've learned framework. I mean, there was a framework called Angular JS. Then there is a framework which I am right now working Angular. Earlier to that, I've learned React, and also I got a chance to work on some mobile framework called Ionic. And now, maybe from next month onwards, I'm going to learn something called Svelte. Now, why I'm giving you this? It's not to say that okay, see, I know so many things. No, the answer is not. Based on the need, I have learned, and it is expected you move from one to other. Today you're learning JS. Don't know, like, okay, 3 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, things might change. Or let's say you join a company, they might say, no, right now we don't have opening or work in JavaScript. You're supposed to start with Java. You should be ready. That's how the software field is looking like. The expectation will be like that. You're not bound to one particular technology, one particular language. You will be able to easily switch because you will be given a time. They will not ask you today itself, okay, you're working in JS, so today evening you do Java. No, they will give you time. So be ready. That's why important to learn one programming language end to end to a good extent, proficient. Yeah, we'll say proficient, correct? At least you should be able to speak. Yeah. So like, so same way. So any logic we are asking in that language, you should be able to implement. To that extent, you learn. Okay, with that, uh, let's start with what is called as JavaScript. Yeah. So there are a lot of materials again about JavaScript. But there is one good book, something similar to our cssreference.io, yeah, which is called javascript.info. I'm sure all of you are familiar in this, correct? And this is a book, even if you're for preparing for interviews, even if you're preparing for coding, this is an online book you all have to read. Should be knowing the concept. Take your time. Read. Every line is also important in this. To that level, you should understand. Again, you see there are a lot of topics which are listed. Not all of the JavaScript you should know to get started. Yes, that's also very, very important thing. I wrote so many things. It doesn't mean I know all the concepts in all the languages. No. So there will be some concepts called basics to get started. And as and when the need basis, we'll have to learn some more. You getting what I'm saying? Basic concepts you should be knowing. On top of that, we will see what else we need to know. All right. So here they have given an introduction to JavaScript, which means to tell you, I think, I don't remember like I read. Yeah. Uh, so now the way you should actually start doing is, I would say, start reading from this line till this line. Don't leave it. What is it? Don't leave it here. Till here you should read. Read. It's okay. How much ever you understand, you don't understand. If you want for, two times, three times, how many ever times you read. And earlier I used to tell the people, see, JavaScript is equal to your money. JavaScript is directly proportional to your money. Many people you are interested in job, correct? Career. I'll show you. Maybe I don't have an I have an X account. People do post it, yeah, saying that JavaScript is so and so. JavaScript has given this. They'll say okay, this is a balance. It's all because of JavaScript. I mean, I have people who are doing mostly around this, but I'm just to say. So now that's why I'm saying take it very seriously. Okay, you want to build a career, you be good in JavaScript. So leave the part for me, like okay, to get a job. All right, yeah. So yeah, I'll maybe I think I'll share those kind of tweets, when people make it. I've seen posts. Now, just to tell you how important it is, how good resource it is. So come back to the comment section. You see comments, 348 comments. See, I have opened this page many a times. I may not have read all these things what is there in this, but there are so many people who have commented, who have asked, who have given suggestion. If at all something is not understood, people are asking questions here. You know, this is I'm not telling about, not complaining. See, in these 346 comments, right? I can hardly find 10 to 15 Indian people. Can hardly see 10 to 15 Indian people. See, we are like, we want to overnight, we want to become, millionaires. That's how Indian people we dream. We are not ready to put hard work actually. And we don't accept our, what to say, limitations. We don't accept our limitation. We don't, accept, okay, yes, it takes time. It is going to take time and I have to sit and I have to invest time in that. No, today you attend a class, tomorrow you should be able to write JavaScript program on your own. Don't expect. It takes a lot of time. You should be with the community. You should understand. You should ask others question. We don't ask questions only because we know everything. That's why we don't even ask questions actually. Not even a single question will come. See, one guy I found 2 years back. He has asked, okay, you see anyone? This is what I'm saying. We don't have time. We are not ready to learn. You know things. We are not ready to ask questions and learn. Everything should be ready made and given to you. Even then, it is difficult. We are not learning. See, after reading, they have put a question. See, someone say basically no voice in the world of computers and coding, with the exception of having read some book, a smarter way to learn JS, and having done a few exercise and completing many project. I promise to be like a other commentators who do not reply to your replies. The course has 175 chapters in total. Let's see how it goes. I think one of the habit as a I think I keep saying this. You should learn to read. Learn to read and understand. There is also one more thing you remember. Okay, the more you read, the more you understand, the bigger the growth will be because you will be able to understand a lot of things. Daily you have to read a lot of things more than a newspaper because you don't know. You will get a different problem. You will have to read what others have given a solution. Okay, so with this, uh, so let's quickly revise. I'll I think walk through you the topics and don't be silent. This is another problem with all of us, including me. We should talk. We should utilize this time for discussing. If you don't talk, how will I understand what you know or what you understood? Or if you have any questions, it is going to be with you only. You won't be able to concentrate also. If you are interactive, you'll be able to concentrate more. Okay. Yeah. So what is JavaScript? Okay. Somebody has opened to talk. Uh, yeah. What exactly is JavaScript? It was initially created to make web pages alive. The programs in this language are called scripts. That is why the name is JavaScript. They can be written right in web page HTML and run automatically as a page loads, which basically means so we now know how to write HTML file, CSS file. So in that CSS file itself, I'll have to embed JavaScript. I have to put this JavaScript. There is no compilation. Compilation is today it is done in the modern browsers. Yeah, but it just in time compile. Yeah, so JavaScript is they'll say both compiled and interpreted language. But as a user, sorry, as a developer, we need not have to have any step for compilation. No compilation required. So JavaScript, why it is got the name Java? Is there any relation to Java? Yeah, no. The only relation is when they were actually, having this language or when this language was getting formed, Java was so familiar. And on top of this, the features uh, in the language were most of them like they referred from Java. Syntaxes are actually kind of Java when it was actually born. That's where they they started calling it actually as JavaScript. But this language, the JavaScript, has its own specification. The JavaScript specification is actually called ECMA script, ECMA script. See, it has no relation to Java at all. Clear? there is something called a specification. We'll have to understand a bit about it. So ECMA stands for European Computer Manufacturing Association. So they named it as specification. So this, I think in one of the training I was there, they asked me what is Java. I was in actually a Java training. They asked me what is Java. Many people gave, different answer. But the trainer told this: Java is actually a specification. It is not a language. It's a specification, which means it will tell you how class should be, how a variable should be. It gives me a detailed specification, okay, how the language should be. But so it is kind of implemented. It is kind of implementation you're getting in JDK and other things. Now, same way, JavaScript is also a specification. There are so many flavors of Java. We only think there is only one Java. Yeah, there are so many flavors of Java today actually. There is one thing called Oracle Java. There is a Open JDK. Yeah, let me tell you. Don't confuse. I am teaching JavaScript only, but I am giving you more in relation because you heard Java. That's why. Yeah. So I think it's about JDK I was talking about. Okay. There is something called Oracle JDK. There is a Open JDK. See, there is a Librica JDK. All these will implement Java. Most popular one is Oracle and then Open JDK. These two. Now, why am I actually so here same concept. So we have what is called a specification called ECMAScript. This specification is a live specification, which means so whenever new version is coming, they will add new things into the JavaScript specification or the ECMAScript specification. So we will see a detailed document. I think it is there somewhere. Maybe you guys can do a read and come actually. Maybe we'll get a link below. Let's see. Now, so it's a specification. So when specification is there, okay, when this JavaScript specification is there, they're all implemented. So there is something called standard specification. The specification is the book will say this should be looking like this. Okay, it should have this color. It should have this much of size. That's how we give a specification, correct? Yeah, it should look appear like this. It should also bend like this. So like we JavaScript has their own specification. Now what happens after the specification? So we have what is called as okay. So different JavaScript, you know, runtimes. So one is like mainly in browsers. How many browsers we have today? There are many browsers. So let me show you how many browsers are there. In simple. So we have a very big list. Yeah, we have a very big list. Starting from Chrome all the way to iOS browser. I think these are all mainstream browsers. Yeah, again we get many. So in standard like Chrome, Edge, Safari, Firefox, Opera, Chrome. So what are all this? These are all different browsers which are there. Now why I'm actually talking about this, how they are related to this. So these browsers are the one, they will implement this specification. Getting what I'm saying? These browsers will implement what is written in this specification document. They will implement it. For example, in the specification, they will have one chapter called how to define variables in Java. What is the naming conventions followed? What is the keyword you are supposed to use? They will write. for just one variable. There will be one big page. Now what this browser will do, each of these company people who are working on these browsers, they will read the specification and then they'll go on, implementing that feature. And they might take their own time. Just like how you all, if I give you an assignment, you all will take your own sweet time. Some of you will do fast, some of you will do not at all do it. So that's what the table we are seeing here. For a given feature, you see Chrome has already started supporting from 125. This UC browser is not even supporting. Yeah. So specification is implemented by the browser. Very important concept. So let's see how does the specification look. Okay. It's called ECMA 262 specification. Yeah. Yes. So this is the official website. This is also again it is available both online book as well as you can download it. Let's say I see the HTML version of this. Okay. So this is actual live specification. You see, they're saying this is 15th edition when it got released, June 2024. We will be able to find even the live, but okay, this is a version which has come last year, so on. Now, if you see, okay, this talks a lot about the language. So host and implementation, ECMA script overview, terms and organization. Yeah. Now let's say I want to start with variables. I said variables, correct? See, here you will find one page about that. See, functions and class, statements and declarations, expressions, yeah, code execution and context, abstract operation, data types and values. So all these things they should define here. They will define here. For example, ECMA script, data types and values. You see about undefined type itself, yeah, they've given you information. String type means what? What is a minimum value? What is a maximum value? What is actually a string? Double quote string. You know, you have a string index of method. What is its syntax? So basically the complete grammar. Yeah. So I think this time some of you have, you said I think you have a compiler design, correct? You will understand what is called grammar, syntax. So here they'll define the complete grammar, what one should support if at all they are implementing this feature. Okay, for now you have this much. Yeah. So if I go on deep actually, I think you will get lost. So let's come back. So these specifications are implemented by browser. Why? Why they are implementing? The answer is here. So every browser will have JavaScript virtual machine embedded. That is the reason we are, able to run JavaScript in the browser. So there is a JavaScript engine which is present in the browser, in each browser. And in typically all the browsers have support for, all the browsers have support for only one language, only one programming language. Which is that programming language? Which is the only language supported by browsers?
JavaScript.
JavaScript. There is no other language. You see, these are actually high-level components of, web browser. You see, understanding the architecture of web browser. You see, there is a JavaScript interpreter. There is a UI. What we are seeing in front of now, these buttons, the end, search box, and all this is called UI. There's a browser engine. So part of this, there will be a lot of engines, CSS engine, you know, JavaScript engine. So JavaScript engine is part of the browser, and that is a reason, only JavaScript is actually you are able to run. Only you will be able to use JavaScript for programming. Remember the other time I was telling there are a lot of languages. If at all you have to write back-end code, if at all you have to do, some programming, you have a lot of options. But when it comes to something you are targeting for client-side browser, the only option is JavaScript. That's why even today people are not ready to replace it. See, there are very good language which are fast enough for faster than JavaScript, but they will not replace JavaScript. You know why? Because there are a lot of things from ages they have built things, for JavaScript. If at all they have to replace, all these guys have to decide. You see, from this browser till this browser, just to give you a simple list, all these people have to decide, saying that okay, no, and they should all come up with some reason why they should replace, which is I don't see is going to happen at least in next 10 years. You might have seen so many good programming languages. There are languages which are going to replace Java. There are languages like, what is replacing Java? Kotlin. Kind of close to it, but then no, Java also it takes time. For client side, you don't have alternative only. Okay, I think I've stressed too much on, why JavaScript and where it is available, why in the client side Java is the only thing. Yeah. So now let's move on. Very important topic. How do engines work? I told you there's a JavaScript engine. So I'll leave it to you guys for now. So this is purely on how the compilation works, how it runs. So regarding that, they've given something. Very important topic. What can in-browser JavaScript do? Anybody has an answer? What all we can do with JavaScript? Let's see how much you know already. What we can do with JavaScript? What is all possible? You answer whatever you know. Oh,
Sir, we can build front end. Like,
printed I'm able to build
Oh,
using HTML, CSS, correct?
dynamics, yes.
Dynamic CSS, okay. What else? Dynamic CSS in the sense I have put color as black. Now I can change it to white and click off a button. Or maybe after a few minutes I can show red. That's called dynamic CSS. This in simple words. What else? So in HTML and CSS, all we have built is actually called static content, static site. Even if you have built any site, it is not that interactive enough. It cannot take input, it cannot display anything different. It is mostly a static content. You come after 1 year, will be same. It doesn't mean JavaScript will change every minute. No, it means it mostly is fixed. Things won't change. But with the help of JavaScript, for the thing which is possible is we can actually make a dynamic content also. We can make interactive applications. Now why how it is possible? JavaScript, yeah, with the help of JavaScript, basically we can handle the user interaction. How JavaScript has that capability. It can manipulate the entire HTML. It can manipulate the CSS. It can display content. It can display totally different content. It can take inputs from users. So we all have written forms. Using JavaScript, I can handle what should happen on submit. I can fetch data from some server. I can ask for server to get data from a database and give it to the UI. I can display a list of data, yeah, based on the user or based on request. We can fetch, collect, yeah, query data from a database and display it here. Yeah, why? Because JavaScript has that has that power to do it. It has got that. Yeah, they use this word. It has got that luxury of able to manipulate HTML. I can create dynamically paragraph. Getting what I'm saying? So let me show you. What do you mean by dynamically creating a content? Yeah. So we'll take a simple example. I think I've spoken enough now. Let's see JavaScript in action. So I'll take a container element to start with. I can directly append to the body also, but that's okay. Now what I'm going to do, I would like to add some content to this. For that, JavaScript gives me some APIs. Okay, using what is called as create element. What I would like to create, let's say I would like to create h1. What do you want to have in this h1? Yeah, I would like to add h1 dot, okay, text content. What I would like to add, okay, hello JavaScript. So this is how I can create an element. Now what is an element? In HTML we know it is an element. The same element now I am trying to create using JavaScript. Is it displayed? No, not displayed. But then how I am going to get displayed? Again, JavaScript has a method, not just for creating. I can also say I can select an element which is present on the page, existing page. I can create new elements like this. I can also select an existing element and its reference. For example, now here container, and to that container I can add this newly created element like h1. Yeah, I think there's a small mistake here. So JavaScript again, hmm, strict language. It's a compiled language, I said. See, we got the output. Did I hard code the output here? Not really. Correct? I didn't. I didn't hard code.
Yes, sir.
Let's say you want to add some date and other things stuff to this. You can say new date, and it is going to display new date maybe, and you are interested in yeah, two, you know two string or two local string. Yeah, we have got some method functions. It's going to display some date, time, and so on. So likewise, we can create elements. We can also manipulate. We can select the elements. Let's say for the same element, you want to change the color. You want to change the background color. Dot style. Dot background color. What I would like to give, say light blue. You see, I did not write CSS, but with the help of JavaScript itself, it is possible to change change even the style also. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of event handling we do. Let's say I have a button I have created, and on click of this button, okay, on click of this button, I would like to display some message. How do I do? Again, what is we have something called as event handling. So on those buttons or on the element whatever we are having, so I can write some listeners, which basically, so let's say if I click, then I would like to do something. What is that I would like to do? I would like to say simply alert. Yeah. So let's see if it is going to work. All I'm doing some interaction. Did it work? No, I should do on click. I think the name of the event is on click. Okay, not working. Fine, no worries. So in the browser, like you guys were using it for CSS for inspecting, HTML for inspecting. More than that, we have got what is called as JavaScript console. Here itself, we can actually kind of debug our code, what is happening. I can also execute code and see every line what is my output. I don't have to build this lengthy code and expect, oh, none of these things are working. Okay, I think I made a mistake. So with respect to the method name, the method name is add event listener, but I've written listeners. So how I can expect it is going to work. So how do I know it is listener? Because I'm able to do code here itself. See, it is going to give you the syntax. Yeah, so fine. So add event listener, and then I'm saying it's a click event. So let's see. See, it's a button and working. All right. So for all this interactivity, all this dynamic content is possible because JavaScript has rich set of APIs and functions which are available. What JavaScript cannot do, also very important. For a security reason, there are a lot of things JavaScript cannot do. Though it can execute in browser, it cannot access to your local hard disk. You cannot read file from or write file from an hard disk. Why? Security point of view. If I'm able to run the code in your system, what if I give you access to, read a file, read your photos, read your hard disk? What if I've written some code embedded in this website and I'm making you, anyhow JavaScript is executing. So without knowing you, what if I turn on the camera? Yeah. So yeah, reading from your hard disk is almost not at all possible when things are running in browser. And there are a lot of many things, okay, which is not at all possible. But one of this important difference is this reading from, or it does basically no direct access to the OS, no direct access. If it has access to OS function like reading file, writing file, copying file, no. Okay, they have given so good answers. What makes JavaScript unique? Why is it so unique? See, all browsers are supporting it. They're not having any other option. It is simple, yeah, simple things done simply. Yeah, works in full integration with HTML and CSS. Don't have any problem or yeah, very good integration with respect to HTML and CSS. Yeah, see this? This is what already I repeated. Maybe you yourself can read. Okay, so today JavaScript has got popularity. It has got a demand also. Okay, it is used heavily also. I can create mobile application. I can create servers also. It can work with database. Yeah. So it is just it is not that JavaScript can only be used in browser for making some of this, creating an element. No, more than that, its usage is mobile applications are also possible. Creating, I mean, there are many uses of JavaScript. There are many forms of JavaScript today, but more than that, the usage is also has increased a lot. And the purpose why we use JavaScript has also grown. It is equally competent enough with all the major languages you have. You can think of JavaScript as a full stack language. Yeah, the only language which is full stack. Answer is JavaScript, specifically for web development. Okay, I think when it comes to mobile, yeah, you have Android and Java can help you with building UI. I mean the pages, but yeah, so JavaScript can do end to end. We can also build APIs. We can also build client side. Everything possible with JavaScript. Okay, so there are some flavors of JavaScript. Yeah, flavors. They say not a flavors. I think these are all some language through which you can generate again JavaScript. One is they say CoffeeScript is a syntactic sugar. TypeScript, yeah, today it is popular. It is built on top of JavaScript. Most of the syntax which is there in JavaScript is supported. Flow, I think it's a typing, but in a different way. Dart, you might have heard this is from a Google, yeah, it's developed by Google. These are all recent things. These are not old on days. Huh? Flow is developed by Facebook. It's a typing system actually. Python is transpiler. Basically, using Python, you can convert into a JavaScript so that that code you can run it. Kotlin, I think a few minutes back I told you, language that can target browsers or Node. Okay, good. They're bringing Kotlin into the browser. I told you TypeScript. You see all the big names are here. Okay, modern tools makes transpilation very fast and transparent, actually allowing developers to code in another language and auto converting it under the hood. So what it means, basically you can write in any of these and again convert that code into, or you can compile that code into JavaScript and then use JavaScript you run on the browser. So they have this option. So since JavaScript is so uh, popular and used, and again there's the only option, you see big companies, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, what else you want? Yeah, Kotlin also is, I think, not sure who is behind Kotlin, but all these big companies are working with JavaScript. I said there are a lot of specification about JavaScript, right? Earlier, the specification is also formed by a committee called ECMA committee. It's called EC13. Oh, sorry, EC39, not EC13, TC Technical Committee 39. So this committee itself is formed by all these big companies. Adobe, Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, you name it, So all these people are actually part of the evolution of this language, the evolution of JavaScript specification. They discuss the specification and then implement it. Implementation is in respective browser. But the first, even if a simple one keyword LET, okay, there's a keyword called LET, if they have to introduce, there will be a lot of discussions which would have happened. It would have taken maybe a month also. just to say to introduce something like this. A month is I think very small time. Just to add one simple keyword to be supported. Alright. So
Sir,
yeah, go ahead question.
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಜಾವಾ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್,
Yes, yes, correct.
ಲೈಕ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಸರ್ ಜಾವಾ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಆದರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
Definitely use ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay. So ಈಗ servers ಈಗ so what is cloud computing? Because you have hosted things in the cloud actually. In simple words, instead of running it
ಎಸ್
in
ಸರ್.
some server, you are now having some cloud hosted options. Somebody has made the system available online. Yes, definitely.
ಓಕೆ
Want to
ಸರ್.
build something? Yes, possible because it's a server side language as well. You can run things. So there you have access to files and everything, which is called a different environment, which is called node. Like for example, if at all I have to run my Java code, I should have JRE, correct?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Do you think without the JRE I can run JavaScript, I mean Java code? Not at all possible. Same way, so to run JavaScript in server, we have an implementation. That implementation is called node. So today JavaScript can be executed in browser or also called as node environment. So we need to install this environment, and if you once you have this environment installed, then we can run JavaScript. What is the meaning by
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
so I've just few minutes back I showed you how we can actually work with browser, correct? We wrote some JavaScript also. Now let me show you how I can run it from command terminal also. Let me check if I have node installed. See, I have not installed node. So once I install node, then I can run the JavaScript code in the node REPL itself. I can type some JavaScript code here. Let name is equal to test. So like this I can write a code and I can execute in the command prompt itself when I install node. So what is a node? Yeah, it's a runtime environment for JavaScript. Like we have in every browser a JavaScript engine, a JavaScript runtime is also available. So Node.js gives you a runtime to run JavaScript everywhere. See, this basically environment helps you developers to create servers, web apps, command line tools, and scripts. Yeah, basically need to download this Node.js. So LTS stands for long-term support. So latest stable version of JavaScript. I mean the node we have to install. Once I install, I can actually use this. So with this, uh, you know, with node available, I'll be able to execute programs from terminal also. Okay.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
Any other question? Okay, I think it's taking some time. No worries. So I think I'll stop today. I think I told you so much, but that's how it is. This is a bit of history about what is JavaScript. Yeah, you should be knowing what it is, why we are studying. First thing is why is so important, right?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
So tomorrow I think I'll talk about the different versions of JavaScript and mostly into, yeah, here they've given specification and all the links. Here they've talked about TC39 specification. So, you guys read, okay, read about whatever they've given, read. Don't worry. Try to remember how much ever possible. Don't make a lot of notes also. You can always come back and read this book. This is an HTML book, free and open. Yeah, this book is free and open. Read as many sections as possible. So tomorrow my one simple ask for all of you is, okay, so read all these topics: code editors, manual specification, developer console. I think I mostly covered this and this I will tell you very easily. It will not take much time. Okay, so read
Okay,
from
sir.
here 1.1 till developer console. Read, okay, develop the habit of reading and understanding. With that covered, maybe I think I'll go into what is writing an hello world, code structure. Yeah, so most of these topics I'll cover. Again, we need not have to cover every topic. If you are a very beginner, you're not done much JavaScript, you need not have to go through everything what at all at once go. All right. Okay then. See you all.
Yes, sir.